Oh. So, funny story. I've been building up for a little while now that I was going to be running essentially a half marathon. It was actually 13.2 miles for, my very long run on Saturdays. And the good news is I was able to do it. The even better news is I may very well have actually did it sub 2 hours. Which is great considering how very much out of shape I look and am. And I actually really wouldn't say what I'm about to say is bad news per se. Really more just of like an inconvenience. So, after my run, I pretty much do what any other person would do after doing what I just did, and that is sit my bum down onto the nearest chair-like thing I could find. And I did. And I'm just like, I'm like, I really could just sit here in cold, sweaty, exhausted bliss for hours if I wanted to. And sure enough, I legitimately consider that. And then I thought, oh yeah, I actually have to entertain the masses. I didn't wanna. Oh, I'm like, here's the thing. I wanted to try and do this run in under 2 hours, which I may very well have done, give or take a few seconds. And throughout, like, the run, I'm, like, starting to panic, because, like, am I really not going to be able to do it? Honestly, I mean, the good news is, since it's 13.2, it's very clear I can actually do a full half marathon under 2 hours, since it's 13.1. Yeah, I know, 0.1, 0.2 may not seem like a lot, but trust me, if you're a runner, it's actually a significant difference. Like, seriously. Under normal circumstances, it really could mean the difference between, like, some people would take, like, a minute, or some people would take, like, 30 seconds or whatever, but really, it does make a difference. So, with that said, I am happy with what I did, but, actually, hold on. I'm incredibly exhausted. A part of me is like, I don't want to do anything today. I just want to stay here and relax. And then I remembered one very important thing. I have this guy by my side. And now I am happy. So, let me adjust it. Happy Saturday, everybody. Yeah, that's quite an intro. Oh, let me try to set up straight. Big nose. There we go. Now you can see the bear and I is rocking the bear, rocking the flannel pajamas. It was great. I'm sitting down, just like, all right, I have to shower, get cleaned, rock the flannel pajamas and the robe, and just, do this. I'm like, how do you think it's working so far? Actually, I guess I am over-exaggerating a little. I mean, overall, I feel great that I was able to do what I just did. And it's going to hit me just how exhausting it was very shortly. And by shortly, I mean right about now. But with that said, we are at the weekend. Hooray. And, the, I mean, there is some good news about this time of year. The winter is actually starting to wind down. Days are actually starting to become a little bit longer. Now it's like almost 6 o'clock, and even though technically it's dark out, you can still clearly see light in the sky. That's awesome. Usually around the first weekend in March is when it gets to be like 6:30 in the morning and it's completely sunrise out. I actually really like that time of year. I really do. And it's actually interesting because whenever I go running, even though I do get up early as it is, I try and leave as early as possible because, on the off chance that, what if I kind of have to, do a little, bathroom related stuff during the run, At least if it's dark out, it kind of gives me a little more options as to where I can go, I suppose. Although I have made the mistake of accidentally not bringing TP before. Oh yeah, trust me. It gets pretty bad. Oh boy. I really am getting exhausted. I'm speaking T.M.I. right now. But before I get to completely collapsing, even though technically I'm sitting in a chair and therefore I can't collapse, I did promise a week ago that with this rise of the AAF, or the Alliance of American Football, and games every weekend, I was totally going to do picks just like in the regular NFL season, and I am definitely going to do that right now. I need a second to get the schedule up there. There we go. Okay, so I guess since I don't really know much about everything going on in this league, and since I don't really have a favorite team as of yet, per se, for right now, I think I'm just going to go with if a team looked good or won, pretty much the latter, I'm probably just going to root for them. So, there's 2 games today and 2 on Sunday, so I guess I'll just do all 4 games today. Why not? And I'll just do like a quick recap of what I thought of the first 2 tomorrow, and then get ready to talk about the other 2 tomorrow, I guess. So with that said, let's see, Salt Lake. Actually, hold on. I'll make sure I get the team names right too. So let me. There. So, this week it's the Salt Lake Stallions at the Birmingham Iron, which for those of you who need a reminder, stallions are actually or horses that are referred to as stallions if a certain part of their anatomy is larger than normal, and the horse itself has to be a male. Yeah, I really am getting exhausted. I am speaking TMI. And Birmingham Iron, iron is, an element. It is a metal, a very strong metal. All you need to do is add carbon to it and you get steel. Hooray, you get a chemistry fact for today. With that said, let's see. Salt Lake actually looked pretty good a week ago, even though they lost. But Birmingham completely decimated Memphis in spite of Memphis's really good defense. So I think I'll give the advantage to Birmingham today. So yeah, I'm picking Birmingham over Salt Lake. The Arizona Hotshots and the Memphis Express. The Express, is a train. And again, fun fact, I live near Elmira, New York, which is where college and NFL football legend Ernie Davis is from. In fact, I've actually been to the high school where he went to, which was Elmira Free Academy. Now it's Elmira High School. And when Elmira Southside and Elmira Free Academy became one school, they named themselves the Express after Ernie Davis's nickname. So there you go. The Memphis Express and the Arizona Hotshots. And actually, I said this a week ago, but I guess it really does. It can't really be stressed enough that, Hotshots are a very special brand of firefighters that deal with the wildfires out west in, California and Arizona, pretty much anywhere that's dry. Which, I always take time to, thank and appreciate the men and women in uniform, and that does, of course, include hotshots. So thank you very much for doing all that you do, ensuring our safety and welfare. Very nice. Thank you very much. Let's see. The Orlando Apollos and the San Antonio Commanders, is it? Yes, it is. Wait, is it? Yeah, oh yeah. Apollo is the Greek god of the sun, and, San Antonio Commanders is, San Antonio, Texas, and Texas is a pretty big, military-related state, so I guess it makes sense to call the Commanders. Orlando legitimately came to play a week ago. Like, they beat Atlanta 40-6. Not 1-4. 40-6. And San Antonio, they also won. In a relatively close game, San Diego and, they beat San Diego 15-6. San Antonio beat San Diego 15-6. So, I guess it really does show that San Antonio's defense may very well be better than Atlanta's. But with that said, it's kind of hard to argue with a team that scored 40 points, regardless of who it is. So I guess I'm picking Orlando, even though they are away. I should probably also explain, Salt Lake is at Birmingham, so I guess the fact I picked Birmingham is pretty indicative that, I'm rooting for the home team. Arizona is at Memphis, but I'm picking the away team in that one. And Orlando is at San Antonio, and, I just picked the away team. And finally, Atlanta at San Diego. Here's the thing. This is hard. This is really hard for me to decide. I mean, both teams ended up losing, but from what I gathered, it didn't really appear that Atlanta's defense had shown up, whereas San Diego's clearly did. So, I guess I'll pick the home team, San Diego, for this one. And, again, I think one of the best things about the AAF is it's on a bunch of different channels. And so today at 2, it's the Salt Lake Birmingham game, and it's going to be on TNT of all channels, which that should be pretty cool. And then you have Arizona at Memphis on the NFL Network, Orlando at San Antonio on the CBS Sports Network, and Orlando at San Antonio is tomorrow at 4. And Atlanta at San Diego is at 8 on the NFL Network. So, to recap, my picks are Birmingham, Arizona, Orlando, and San Diego. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, technically I did pick, except for San Diego, I pretty much picked teams that all won a week ago. And yeah, it would sort of be an easy way out to say whatever team won moves on. But again, this is sort of new to me. And therefore, I don't really have a favorite team per se. I mean, I've talked to a few individuals. One particularly is my Uncle Jimmy, who you guys met on day 147, part 2. He's actually our family's resident Seattle Seahawks fan. And probably a bigger football expert than I am. So he's actually leaning toward the Birmingham Iron, which if nothing else, I do like the Birmingham Irons uniform. I mean, black and gray, black and silver. That's essentially what iron does look like in nature, so there you go. Actually, iron is gray, carbon for the most part is black, so I guess it is sort of like steel in a way. Wouldn't you know it? So, yeah, those are my picks. Agree, disagree, whatever. And now if you excuse me, I need to collapse and take a nap. Luckily, I'll have this bear to keep the monsters away. Oh, my goodness. I am exhausted. But never exhausted enough to say like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I could really use the support on YouTube. Follow me on the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. And as always, I'm very humble. I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful Saturday. Remember, if you guys don't want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care, and make good choices. Unlike technically what I did, which is get up super duper early and run in the freezing cold. And run basically a half marathon. I really am tired, folks. Take care.